Hey guys, Dozer here, bringing you the Dozebound Party Line. This is a new series in which we're playing games with my friends, and this is one of the games that me and my buddies were playing recently. It's called Guilty as Sock, where you and your friends are tasked with basically messing up courtroom. You got your prosecutor, your defense, and your judge. And so, without further ado, I think let's get into it.
Charlie Thompson, but I guess it's Charlie Thompson.
So here we have on trial today. We have Charlie Thomp is accused of theft of batteries taking out of remotes in the neighborhood. I'm waiting for the I guess the opening case. It probably helps if I actually picked up the gavel and told you to do that. So I will say, Prosecutor Joey Fun, you may begin.
Let's see. So,
Officer
Mr. Charlie over there is accused of theft of batteries taken out of remotes in the neighborhood. The evidence that we have for that is we know he did this because he was wearing an electronic bracelet. So, with using GPS tracking, we were able to find his whereabouts. And the fact that he visited every house in the neighborhood with a Roku remote proved that he had visited every person in the neighborhood. Okay, and then so there's that, right? Here's the other thing that I find really weird.
Okay, yeah.
There was a reported plane ticket that he had purchased to come and visit our town. This man has never visited, nor does he have any relatives within this state. Find very odd. And he went to mime school to learn how to be quiet when sneaking around houses, so he didn't have to talk to people when he was working with his comrade.
Objection. That's a witness, not a evidence of school.
I will sustain that.
And that is all the evidence cards I have. I yield my thing.
All right, perfect. I will switch it over to the defense over here.
Well, I just want to say it's a pleasure to be here. But today, I ask you to see beyond the batteries and into the heart of a misunderstood person. My client is just, falsely accused of this. First off, I want to address the absolute, just ridiculous evidence, the electronic bracelet. So, yes, my client was wearing an electronic bracelet, and yes, he was tracked around a neighborhood, but my client is a UPS driver, and I can prove that because we have his coworker right here, and his coworker who helps deliver with me.
Where's the coworker? Because when I mentioned the magician thing, you said...
Judge, can you please silence him?
Sir,
he made his case.
Please, prosecutor, please allow the defense to speak, please.
Can I say objection?
It's too late, so you're gonna have to.
Objection.
Once again, sir, please do not speak out of turn. I'm gonna overrule your objection. Please continue, sir.
Thank you, Judge. So as I said,
I have 15 minutes before I have to leave. But continue. I apologize to interrupt.
Sir, please don't speak out of turn again. This case will not take that long. With how poorly you're doing, so I need you to take a step back and let the defense speak.
Abuse in the court.
Sir, I'm one more time for an outburst, and I'm gonna find you in contempt.
Not find you.
Fine, yeah.
Contempt this bitch. Anyways, continue.
I'm sorry. Please continue, Mr. Mango.
This is a kangaroo court.
Don't worry, Charlie. We're getting out of this one. All right. So, so again, apart from being rudely interrupted by Prosecutor Joey Fun over there, I just want to say again, the UPS driver here, coworker, we can verify that's why he was going around. The plane ticket is simply he just went on vacation. He just came home. So his plane ticket saying that he came home, because if you look at the plane ticket,
yeah,
that's the destination is here. It's not. it was him coming back home from Aruba.
Yes.
So obviously, clearly
prosecutor,
that's
do you have an objection? I see that there's an exclamation point.
I do have an objection. We just stated that he's not a resident of this state. Why would you state that this state where this crime occurred is his home?
because.
I mean, I
Hold
will
on,
say.
hold on.
Well,
I have evidence. I have evidence.
Well, I was just gonna say he didn't say the reason. He gave like a statement and not the reason for objection. But I will say I will allow it. So if you will, Mr. Defense Attorney, please.
Yes, I do have it. So
Very well.
the reason why my client doesn't need to go steal batteries is because we have an open package from his home address, and his address is on this package.
Fuck you.
And there's batteries in it because he bought them from Amazon, as you can clearly see inside the package.
Right.
And also he did buy some soap with it too.
I see
so, yeah,
that.
I mean,
prosecutor, if you have an objection, I need you to please say objection.
I do. Objection. All these materials that he's talking about was actually found on a drifting boat.
I mean, do you have evidence?
Objection.
I
He's
do have
presenting
evidence. I would
evidence.
like
That
He's
is
presenting
wild.
evidence. This is not his time to present evidence.
Okay.
He had his chance.
That's true. We'll go back for one last closing statement here in a second.
Very well.
Mr. Mango, I do have a follow-up question for you that I just didn't want to interrupt you because you look so good over there.
Yes, Your Honor.
Earlier, when you mentioned the coworker and the electronic bracelet, are you implying that the electronic bracelet is not a like a home arrest device and is actually used to monitor the employee for his job?
Yes.
Objection.
Sir,
You're leading the witness. You're leading.
First of all, I'm talking to the defense attorney. I'm just asking a question to validate.
That's a leading question.
The judge can ask leading questions to.
I'm just trying to get clarification.
A leading question can't be asked to a witness.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get clarification as to the purpose of the electronic bracelet.
Ring.
Yes, Judge. As you are very well aware,
Yes.
particular companies like Amazon and other delivery services do usually, have these electronic bracelets to kind of prove they're moving around. So it's a production tool, and my client does have to wear one when he's on the clock.
I understand. Okay, prosecutor, defense, are you done with your?
Yes, I actually do. I do have one more piece of evidence.
Yeah,
and I think
absolutely.
we'll just clear all this up here. So I want to make a counterclaim that my client is being targeted specifically, and this is proof because I actually caught prosecutor Joey Fun here in a meeting with FedEx. With a secret meeting, and they were in this park, and I have video evidence of that in the secret meeting here, and you can clearly see that FedEx is out to get my client fired because my client is the best UPS driver in the city.
Okay, so so what are you done with your current argument?
Yes,
so I can turn it over?
I rest.
Okay.
Yes, I rest.
Okay. Joey, I will now turn it over to you if you have any sort of evidence about this secret meeting. I'll turn it over to you so that you may let me actually switch it over to my other thing. I will turn it over to you so you may talk about the secret meeting more. If you have any evidence to disclaim that this secret meeting was an attack against the client here.
No, I can tell you one thing. The secret meeting? Horseshit. His phone was broken. How the hell did he join a meeting? Second of all, we know that
Objection. Whose phone was broken?
Your client's there, so he couldn't join the meeting.
The client wasn't part of the meeting. It was a FedEx employee and you. So I don't know why a broken phone for my client. My client does have a broken phone, but he dropped it at work.
It's a different broken
I'm sorry.
phone.
You're right. My client's phone was broken, and he was also stuck at sea.
You don't have a client.
You don't have a client. Objection. This is a prosecution. He does not.
Joey, you're representing a company. You're not representing a client.
Oh, well, FedEx had a broken phone, and we were drifting out at sea.
So hold on. I just want to say objection that you do now acknowledge the fact that FedEx is involved in this. Judge, I think we just need to go ahead and dismiss this case and dismiss the charges due to the fact that the prosecution has clearly made it evident that FedEx was in fact involved in a secret meeting to get my client fired.
I hear you and I see you. I am a little more concerned that he just started laughing in the middle of court and he has not stopped. We might have to have Batman come and pick him up because he's gone a little loopy. My final question.
Where's the laughing emoji?
My final question is defense. My final question for you, defense, is what kind of soap did your client order?
It's clearly Dove.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. All right. I will let you know right now that there's no jury. They're not here to talk. So I'm gonna say I rule in favor of Charlie Thomp, and he is not guilty.
Woo! We won't do it again.
Wait, what? So he was guilty. Bitch.
That's
Double
funny.
jeopardy. You can't charge me again.
All right, play again. This is the case of Chadwick Ryan, who was accused of illegally smuggling exotic cheese across state lines while disguised as a jazz flautist.
All right. I will go ahead and turn it over to the prosecution.
Thank you. Okay, hold on. I gotta look at my evidence. So, Chadwick over there, he is accused, like I mentioned, of illegally smuggling exotic cheeses across state lines or disguised as a jazz flautist. Okay, I just want to let you know we did catch him, basically, on a. Wait, hold on. I gotta pull up a map real quick. Hold on. Okay. This is gonna be so stupid. Okay. He was crossing state lines disguised as a jazz flautist. When we arrested him, he was on a drifting boat on Lake Michigan, crossing over from Michigan to Wisconsin. And basically, he was smuggling the cheese in from Michigan to Wisconsin. As we all know, Wisconsin, big cheese capital. They're all big about their cheeses. Okay. And basically, we came a light of this. We basically got a disturbing email that basically he sent out, and he was like, hey, there's this big en masse of cheese coming into Detroit, and he basically formulated a plan to procure said cheese and take said cheese across state lines. And I know this because we have his search history. Yeah, that's right. We have his whole thing. We know kind of porn he watches, what kind of cheese he likes, and we've got it all documented. It's all there in black and white. We did subpoena Google, and so with that, we were able to get rid of him via a cheese bust, and from there learn his whole scheme. And that's all I currently have, Your Honor.
I will turn it over to the defense.
So what you're saying is that my client was transporting cheese via boat. Via boat, you've said. Across state lines, illegally.
That is correct.
That's possible. It could happen. However, it can't happen whenever there's a transport strike.
Oh, shit.
And when there's a transport strike, boats don't go. And furthermore, we have a coworker of the defendant that vouches for the fact that the alleged cheese smuggling, because the client does work for a shipping company, the coworker verified these are legal ships. They weren't illegal ships. They were all legal. Transport strikes prevent legal ships from going abroad. Or a state.
Do you have anything else?
defense
rest temporarily.
Okay, I will turn it over to the prosecution.
All right, I'd like to point out that while yes, we are under a temporary transport strike, I do want to once again reiterate that we do have his search history in which he literally Googled, like how to steal a boat, what is the legal limit of cheese one can smuggle across state lines, how to dress like, a jazz flautist. And I really want to add that, when we did ask this coworker, actually, let's scratch that. I don't want to go with that. Let's say, I have two pieces of crap here and I'm trying to figure out how this fits in. Let's see. Yeah, I got nothing. I have nothing
I do
else.
have some questions for both the prosecution and the defense here.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Your Honor.
The prosecutor Dozer sleeps here.
Yeah.
I wanted to. You make the claim that he was illegally smuggling cheese across state lines while disguised as a jazz flautist. Where's your evidence that he was in fact disguised as? Do you have any clothing items or music items that would prove that?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, at this time, I do not. All I have on him that the only thing that he currently had on him, like I don't have his outfit in evidence. The only thing I have in evidence is a lonely puzzle piece. So I don't. It's the only thing that he had in his pocket. In his well-dressed suit. Unfortunately, I did not think to catalog the suit itself. So I do apologize for that.
All right. Well, because that has no no leg to stand on here, I'm going to go ahead and dismiss the lonely puzzle piece as not a valid piece of evidence. Yeah, so I would like to go back to the defense here. So far, the prosecution has presented a couple pieces of damning evidence. The boat, the email, and the search history all kind of point to your client. I do understand that you made the claim there was transport strikes, which we are all well aware that is happening right now in the Michigan and Wisconsin area. However, I don't think that that would stop someone who is trying to illegally move exotic cheeses across state lines. As you guys do know, that we, typical standard cheeses is allowed, but the exotic cheese is where we draw the line at. So, do you have any defense against that, or?
I do, in fact, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will turn it back over to you.
We have, I think, something that tells us everything we need to know. Despite HIPAA, my client has decided to disclose this information. A medical file. Chadwick Rhine is allergic to cheese and jazz. There's
Objection!
absolutely no way.
Hold on, objection. How could somebody be allergic to jazz? I understand the cheese. How could somebody be allergic to jazz?
Have you listened to it?
Order. Are you claiming, are you making an objection that he's only allergic to jazz but not the cheese?
No,
he's
I'm
allergic
saying
to cheese.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not here to dismiss that somebody can't be allergic to cheese. I'm just saying, how can somebody be allergic to jazz?
Yes, you're correct. I would agree that the jazz allergy is ridiculous, but the cheese one I will allow, as I clearly say it's on this medical file.
He's allergic to cheese. Additionally, we have leaked DMs from the president.
Whoa, hold on, wait, whoa.
From the president that says, "You're the most upstanding citizen I've ever heard of. And despite the transport strikes, you stayed on your job, stayed at the dock, didn't do anything illegal, and we know you aren't transporting cheese illegally because you're allergic to it and you can't possibly get close to it. Because my client, somebody get me a ball of cheese. I've got one right here, watch. Just turns his head away immediately whenever I throw the cheese at him. He would die in the presence of cheese.
I would say I would like an objection. I would like to know. I know we have the evidence of the DMs. I would like to know which president was the one that made these remarks.
George Bush.
Which George H.W. Bush or George W. Bush?
You pick.
Ooh, order. All right. Prosecution, do you have anything to add?
Well, I would like to know which bush it is, because that's going to make up my next part of the argument.
Well, I think he made it clear that he has no confidence in that answer. So.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, I would like to say that yes, okay, even if the client were or were not allergic to cheese, a lot of people still handle jobs where they're allergic to something or they don't want to do something, okay? You got people that work at grocery stores that are still allergic to things that are in the grocery store. So I don't really see any relevance. It's not like he was handling the cheese with his bare hands. Amongst his search history was, gloves. So I don't see, what him being allergic has to do with it. It's not like he ingested any of the cheese as well. I will also say that if there was a transport strike, I don't see why the president would have been emailing or DMing him that he was an upstanding citizen. I don't see the need for the president to reach out to him. Like I kind of want to know why the president was reaching out to him in the first place. If that makes any sense. I don't really understand what that has to do with the case.
I completely
sorry.
understand.
Did I say president? I meant God.
Okay. Yep, I think I've heard enough. So, I'm going to go ahead and make my ruling here. I will just say, Mr. Lithix over there, I think you need to really do your research more. I really think that you need to really be able to review your evidence more clear here, because, I'm reading this medical file that you presented, and for some reason you made this false claim that he was allergic to jazz music, which is not on here at all. I do see a cheese allergy, so I do accept that as a real thing. However, as Prosecutor Dozier Sleeps here has made it perfectly clear, you can be around things if you're allergic to them, and
Okay.
if you
Objection.
Excuse me.
Whoa! Don't interrupt the judge.
Order. Clearly, in order to transport, all right, both of y'all, I will not accept that behavior in my courtroom. Clearly, in order to transport from Michigan to Wisconsin over the Great Lake, Michigan, you would need to have your cheese completely sealed. If not, it would just go bad. And
My client can't even go to Wisconsin. He would die.
Sir, you are not available to speak. You have major chances to make your claim. So seeing the evidence, also, I don't understand why you didn't have a clear understanding of what president was in the DM. So I'm going to go ahead and make this ruling here that your client is guilty.
I just love. Did I say president? I meant God.
I meant God.
I was like, all right.
So Sour Lemmy is being accused operating an unlicensed pop-up lemonade stand during a neighborhood HOA meeting. So let me just, Judge, let me have a chance to review my my pieces of evidence here.
Carry on.
Yes. So thank you for everyone here of the patients here. So yeah, I'm making the accusation that Sour Lemmy over here did in fact operate a pop-up lemonade stand that was unlicensed. He failed to present the license during our HOA meeting. And I know this to be true because we found a suspicious bill here of actually, hold on. Can you you need to hit my turn here. Thank you, sir. So there's a suspicious bill here that is a very high bill. It looks like it's actually for a bulk order of plastic cups and lemons and sugar. So clearly, I don't know what he's doing with all this and all these ingredients to lemonade. If he's not operating a lemonade stand. And in fact, the other thing we found was this map here, which actually, it was labeled as a treasure map, but it was under the guise, it's actually a map of the neighborhood. because he wanted to strategically place his lemonade stand in a place where he could get away with it. And so the reason why we found him was because one of our other fellow neighborhood residents actually was approached by the defendant because he tried to tell the defendant, hey, you can't be operating this lemonade stand. And the defendant actually shot at the one of the neighborhood gentlemen that approached him. So there's a bullet casing that we actually have that we show actually came from a gun that the defendant owned. And yeah, so as I said, there's so yeah, the map and the suspicious bill, I think I just don't know why the defendant would be having that much money that he put towards lemons and sugar and cups. So I will go ahead and turn it over to the defense.
Okay, that was a very compelling argument. Defense, go ahead with your defense.
Absolutely. Just give me like a couple seconds here so I can look at my...
Take your time.
So, my client, Sour Lemmy, great name by the way, he's accused of being, doing this, operating an unlicensed pop-up lemonade stand during a neighborhood HOA meeting. I just want to say my client, I don't even think he would have even been in this neighborhood because we do have witness testimony from his coworker that he was at work. So he does actually have an alibi. He wasn't even there. Let me go ahead and flip both of these up. Okay. And so I also don't know where this used bullet casing is coming from because at the same time, while he was leaving work, they did just have their right before summer, before summer begins party, and he had a water gun. So I think basically what's happening here is I think it's a situation where you see something and you're trying to make it something else. Because at the end of the day, as far as the suspicious bill, yeah, we have backup for that too. That was actually melted chocolate. So.
Objection, there's no melted chocolate on the bill. It is lemons, sugar, and plastic cups.
Okay. Point of order. First issue, we're discussing this individual, Mr. Lemmy, operating an unlicensed pop-up lemonade stand during a neighborhood HOA meeting. Okay. Now, an unlicensed lemonade stand surely is a grievous accusation. However, firing a gun surely is the bigger crime here. Now, the evidence presented shows us that there's a used bullet casing. Now, can there be any forensic evidence that corroborates the fact that this person fired this bullet in the execution of this pop-up lemonade stand?
I mean, go ahead.
I just want to say the casing came from the person that the client or that Mr. Papa Parm's client shot at one of the residents of the neighborhood. The resident of the neighborhood has opted out of coming as a witness because he fears for his life. Because he approached the defendant and just clearly said, "Hey, you shouldn't be operating this lemonade stand," to which he got shot at. So that's. I have the casing, but I do unfortunately do not have the witness here to corroborate that.
Okay, fair enough. Now, follow-up question for Mr. Papa Parmesan, the defense attorney here. You claim that the defendant is innocent due to the fact that they only have a water gun. What sort of, I don't know if you've done much water gun shopping in your days. What sort of water gun produces bullet casings?
Well, once again, that's why I was saying the evidence is that the bullet casing has to be unrelated because he has a water gun. I'm saying the water gun that was presented that he had on him does not have the capacity to shoot bullets that have casing. So I'm saying that piece of evidence should be thrown out because he doesn't have such a gun.
Objection. The bullet casing did not come from the water gun. In fact, now that I'm looking at this water gun that you presented, it actually appears that there is evidence of lemons and sugar on the tip. So I think his water gun was actually used to make the lemonade.
Interesting. Also, I would say to the defense, why could one not be in possession of multiple fire or water weapons?
I mean, I'm not saying that that they can't. I'm just saying my client was at work and not even at this. I'm saying you've got the wrong guy here because my client was clearly at work having a before summer party with a water gun, and I'm not here to argue if somebody can have more than multiple firearms. That's not the case that's being made here.
Now let's talk again about the melted chocolate. Let's talk again about the melted chocolate. Why is this object a bit of evidence in defense of your client?
Well, like I was saying, my gentleman on the other side over here claimed that there was a suspicious bill, and like I said, the reason that there was a suspicious bill was because he had some melted chocolate in his pocket.
Objection, relevance. I don't see how melted chocolate has anything to do with the bill.
Because it would make. It's the chocolate would cover the bill, making it suspicious.
I've presented the bill to you, Judge, and can you please can you read it, or is it covered up?
I've got the bill here. And
I've also presented some bills to you. If you could look under the desk.
I'm going to go ahead and throw out the melted chocolate because I don't think that's really relevant to the case at hand. What I have here, sir, is I have this person apparently. Well, actually, there's another issue I'd like to drill down into a little bit. Operating an unlicensed pop-up lemonade stand during an HOA meeting. Where are these HOA meetings being held? Outside? Where do you? What? I mean,
that's a question for the prosecutor.
Well, I mean, it's a question for anybody. Where was this HOA meeting being held?
Well, our neighborhood is a very strict neighborhood, and all residents who buy homes in our neighborhood has to sign a document. I don't live there. I'm just making the case here. It clearly states in Section 5, Article 2, that if there is a HOA meeting in place, you cannot operate a lemonade stand. Now, once the HOA meeting is completed, you can operate the lemonade stand at any point. So
the illegal nature of the lemonade stand is based purely on the fact that an HOA meeting was in progress at the time.
Yes, that is correct.
That's unusual. Bailiff, will you go ahead and grab that document for me so I can take a look at it? Now, I'm interested in this coworker.
Yes.
The coworker gives him an alibi. Coworker says he couldn't have been doing it. He was at work. Where does our defendant work?
Best Buy.
Best Buy. Oh, well, that should be... I honestly want to say that Best Buy is a major corporation. I feel like that'd be readily available evidence to you if that was in fact true. Other than my homeboy said I was there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the evidence of somebody being on the clock at Best Buy would be readily available.
Well, once again,
that evidence.
No. Once again, this was their before summer party, so he actually wasn't on the clock. This was like a little get together outside in the parking lot. You're familiar, as is my prosecutor over there. Is after work events. This is one of them. So they were just having a little powwow after work. Some food and some water guns and hanging out, and so his coworker is validating that he was there.
So
He was not
that
on the clock for it.
justifies the possession of the water gun.
Yes. And also justifies that he was not at this alleged HOA meeting selling unlicensed lemonade.
Can we, What time was this HOA meeting taking place? Prosecutor, that's for you.
This is probably like
Yeah,
the
no, I
most,
got it.
This is like the most serious that we've been.
I would like to make a statement. This coworker here that made the claim that he was with work. Our HOA meetings occur at 3 a.m. Clearly closing time for Best Buy. So there would be no way.
I would like objection because who in their right mind has an HOA meeting at 3 a.m?
We're,
3 in the afternoon.
I have a response.
Wait, was it 3 a.m. or 3 in the afternoon?
It was 3 a.m., Judge.
Oh, okay.
Our neighborhood is, as I said, it is a very exclusive neighborhood. We are primarily all werewolves.
Oh.
And we can only operate our HOA meetings in the middle of the night. So 3 a.m. is optimal time for our werewolves to have their HOA meeting.
Best Buy is closed.
Yes, Best Buy was closed at 3 a.m., so there was no way for the defendant to be at work during this lemonade stand. That was
However, they did say that it was during an employee gathering, which would have certainly been during closing hours, for sure. However, what was the employee gathering you mentioned again?
It was a before summer party to celebrate, like how summer's almost here, but not here yet. And so it was just, I mean, who's to say? It was just a little bit of food, a little bit of water gun fun.
A little bit of midnight for a summer bash.
It could have been. Yep. I mean, we all know that those like little shindigs at Best Buy, they go on for a couple hours.
True enough. However, I'm going to say, based on the evidence I've got from the suspicious bill, which featured lemonade and sugar, the used bullet casing, I don't know what to do with that. The map of the neighborhood, sure, they're working out clientele. Was this person operating a lemonade stand? I'm gonna say, I think there's ample evidence to support that claim. Was it during an HOA meeting, however, which it has been presented to me that it's only illegal to operate a lemonade stand without a license while an HOA meeting is happening for some reason. It's a very specific rule. Given the evidence, given the testimony, given the... Whoa, those balls just hit each other in midair. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
My verdict is the client appears to be... Well, I have another thing I want to drill down into.
I mean, you're at the end of the thing. I don't think that you can drill down anything else. Could you imagine the judge being like, I think the client... Well, actually, hold on a second.
The HOA meetings take place specifically at 3 a.m. Who's drinking lemonade at 3 a.m.? And I mean...
Well, I didn't say he sold any, but he operated some. He operated it.
I have to say, based on all the evidence at hand, even the evidence I've thrown out, I believe...
What?
Yeah!
Thank you guys for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys hit like and subscribe. I would love to play this again with my friends. I thought it was pretty fun, pretty good time. And without further ado, this is Dozer signing out, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.